Hello, everyone. My name is Sonali Randawa. There's just a lot of things that I want to talk about, a lot of things that I've learned over the last couple years that I feel like could be really helpful and valuable to other young female entrepreneurs. So, just to give a little bit of background about who I am and where I'm from. I was born and raised in the Bay Area, and then I moved to Los Angeles actually about 2.5 years ago. So back in 2021, I just feel like my life has been the complete opposite since I've moved to LA compared to how my life was back in high school, and that's normally what happens. People's lives tend to change after they leave high school. For first moving to LA, and about $3,000 saved up from my retail job that I was working at. I was working at Nordstrom's the summer before I graduated so that I could have enough money to move and kind of do my own thing after I graduated. So that's exactly what I did. I've worked since I was about 14 doing multiple things, but I made commission from that job, which made it so that I could make a little bit more money. That helped. So I rented a very, very, very small studio in Santa Monica, which it was literally the size of a shoebox. It was honestly the perfect place for me because I just needed somewhere small. I just needed somewhere to sort of get me going. So I rented a studio in Santa Monica. I think the rent was like $1,600 a month, which if you live in LA, that is a very, very, very good deal for just a small basic studio in Santa Monica. It wasn't updated, it wasn't renovated, it was very, very, very basic. But it did the job. It got me by. So I basically lived in a studio I lived there for about a year and a half. I wanted to go to a 4-year after immediately after high school, but unfortunately I just couldn't afford it. It's just school nowadays is just so expensive, and that just wasn't really an option for me. So I decided to enroll at Santa Monica Community College, which is such a good community college. I will advocate for that school and through and through. First, they have amazing resources. They support kids with disability, and it's just a very diverse school, and I love that about them. So I was able to go there before I could transfer to a 4-year. So that's exactly what I did. I stayed at Santa Monica Community for about 2 years, or maybe it was even like a year and a half or something like that. I can't. I sort of also bounced around when it came to what I wanted to do. I remember when I left my hometown, I wanted to become a doctor, and I wanted to become a plastic surgeon and go through all this schooling for it. And now that I'm a little bit older, I think that I've realized that that's not really what I wanted to do. That's more of what my family wanted me to do. I didn't feel very motivated to pursue that career path. I sort of like went through a whole process of transformation and just like understanding who I am, what I like to do. And that really got me sort of thinking like, okay, Sonali, you're creative, you love to be on social media, you love media and entertainment. I really just like asked myself what would motivate me to work and to sort of like have a purpose in life and know like what I want to do. And for the longest time I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, but I've never really known what it is that I wanted to do. I guess I always overlooked that career path for me because I never thought that could just be possible for someone like me. I never thought that could be a possibility for me. Getting back to, the whole transformation of kind of what I've went through over the last 2 years, and getting back to what I actually started to pursue in school, I actually decided to pursue marketing. And then after I was at Santa Monica Community for about a year and a half, I was looking at schools to transfer to. It was time that I was applying to schools. This was like really hard for me because I didn't have anybody there to kind of guide me or walk me through the process of applying for 4 years. And it is like such a process. There's so many things that you have to do to make sure or to see if you align with that school. Also to avoid having to transfer to schools down the line, because I know a lot of people that have done that as well. But yeah, Pepperdine was always my dream school, but I never thought that I could get into a school like that. But I still applied, and I also applied to a couple other schools too. Other problem for me that I was dealing with at the time was not really having a proper source of income coming in. I remember that when I first moved down here, all that I was doing was Instacart and DoorDash like 24/7. That was how I was paying rent, how I was paying for food, how I was paying for bills, etc. And that was really hard because people on Instacart and DoorDash do not get paid what they should be getting paid. It is super, super, super low. Like, you can't make ends meet with doing something like DoorDash or Instacart unless you literally do it all hours of the day 24/7. And then while I was applying to 4 years too, I always had to think about how I was going to be able to like pay for school. So fast forward to me applying to all those schools, I sort of just put whole financial worry to the side and kind of just told myself like, okay, let's get into a school first and then let's deal with that, because then at least I'll be in a school and I won't really have to worry about getting into a school. That wasn't necessarily the smartest decision, but here we are. I actually got to apply for those schools. Most of the application deadlines were up. I was not able to apply for 99.9% of the schools. The only school that I could apply for and that the deadline was still open for was Pepperdine. So I filled out my application literally like 2 nights before the deadline, and I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna get in here. There's no way. I don't have good enough grades to get into this school. But I just did it. Fast forward a few months, I get an email and I see that it's from Pepperdine, and I'm like, okay, and it says in this like subtitle thing, it says an update has been made to your account, please check your portal or something like that. So I log in, I put in my username, put in my password, I get in to like my student portal thing where I can like view the status of my application, and I see that it says that I've been waitlisted, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way, like there is absolutely no way that I was waitlisted for Pepperdine. And I was like, am I reading this correctly? And yeah, I ended up getting waitlisted. I was so shocked. And even honestly now to this day, I was so shocked because even like throughout community college, I didn't have like straight A's. And I really thought that like in order to be able to go to Pepperdine, you basically had to be like a straight A student. A couple weeks later, I actually got another email saying that I was accepted into Pepperdine. We just finished my first semester there last month, and it's such a cool school. For going back and sort of rewinding a little bit, I've always had such a motivation, like always, ever since I was probably 5 years old. I've always had a passion to inspire other women and break stigmas and show other women that like we can make it in the business world without having all these stigmatized perceptions on us and thinking that we need somebody else to dictate what we're doing, when in reality we should be doing what we want to do. I think that that's the biggest lesson that I've learned over the last 2 years, is that you absolutely cannot be doing things in life for other people. You need to be doing things for you. So if you're pursuing a career right now, or if you're in school right now majoring in something that you don't want to major in, let's say if you're majoring in nursing, or you're economics or political science, whatever it is, or let's just say you don't like the career that you're doing, the people that you're surrounded with at work, whatever it is, you cannot be doing things that you do not want to do. You have to find something that motivates you and something that will push you to work towards something. And once you find that one thing, I promise that life becomes so much easier, and you start to find purpose in life and in what you want to do. So just talking about this really just reminds me of like when I first moved down here and how I was super unhappy because I was gonna start going to school for becoming a doctor, and that was kind of the career path that I was considering taking as opposed to doing something that I wanted to do, and that just made me extremely unhappy. My goal at the time was to find a mentor or somebody that I could be inspired by, or somebody that motivated me to push myself. And real estate is also another career that I want to eventually go into. And I actually decided that I was like, okay, this Instacart and DoorDash stuff is not cutting it. I obviously need to find another way. Like, I'm not learning anything. I'm just sort of just like making quick money, and it's not really providing any value to my life. Now, keep in mind, I was going to school at the same time too. I emailed like 200 to maybe like 300 realtors in the Los Angeles and Orange County area. And I actually emailed one of the realtors with the Oppenheim group, which is a very fancy real estate brokerage here in Southern California. They have an office in LA, OC, San Diego. One of them actually got back to me, and she was like, hey, I got your email. How does an interview sound for tomorrow at 5:00? And I was like, that sounds great. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that opportunity sort of just fell into my hands, and I did the interview with her. She was absolutely an angel. She's a doll. She's taught me so much. I truly think that the universe puts people in your life for a reason. I was able to be her intern for her for about 3 to 6 months. I learned so much, like, just with her. I wouldn't say that it was more of an internship. I really would call it more of a mentorship. And, for someone that, again, grew up thinking that doing stuff like this and this kind of career was not possible, it just like completely changed the way that I thought. And I finally felt like I was surrounded by people that wanted to do what I wanted to do. I was able to go to a couple filming events for their shows, Selling Sunset and Selling the OC, and just watching all that go down, and just behind the scenes of how the show works, seeing all the cameras, seeing the cast members. It's just all so surreal, and it's absolutely just crazy to me. I've never been surrounded in a world that's like that, so it was just like very out of ordinary for me. And then once I stopped sort of interning with her, I actually decided to take the whole content creation thing a little bit more seriously and start my own social media management agency. But again, I over the last couple years, I've really like found what I've wanted to do in life, and that's really to inspire and empower other females in any industry, the entertainment industry, medical industry. Like, no matter what you're doing in life, or no matter who you're surrounded by, or who you're with, like, you can change that moment right now. Right now you can change that. Like, all you have to do is get up and make an action. You need to just do it and push through. And I promise that you will be so much happier once you actually start doing things in life that are for yourself and not for other people. While I was working with Bronwyn, I do truly feel like the universe puts people in your life for a reason. And I feel like when I was working with her, I knew that that's like what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to create a social media agency dedicated toward female entrepreneurs and female creatives, and help them share their story and how they have sort of navigated the challenges and stigmas in their life to, again, inspire other women, because I think that we hold such powerful messages, and that if we can share those messages, we can break stigmas. And any time that we can speak up and advocate change, that sort of pushes us a little bit more, that pushes us a little further in society. And I think that, again, sharing our stories can just inspire other women. And again, growing up, being surrounded by people that always told me that being in an industry like media and entertainment was not really possible unless you had all this money and unless you had all these connections, that really just changed my outlook on life after high school. And now that I have sort of grown into my own shell, and I've sort of built my own identity and just like my own way of thinking, I feel like I have definitely learned your environment can have such a huge impact on your ability to function and your ability to be happy, that if you can't be happy, then you can't be healthy. And I think that a lot of people also idea of happiness mixed up with this idea of also making other people happy. So some people think that, oh, in order for me to be happy, I have to be rich, or I have to have this, $100,000 car, or I have to have, the most updated Louis Vuitton or Christian Dior bag, or, when it's like in reality, are you doing that for yourself, or are you doing that to satisfy somebody else? Because I promise you that I have done this myself, and I have had to learn how to undo this. And I really do think that females in this day and in this society feel just a huge like sense of pressure to make society happy and to sort of fulfill what society expects of us, as opposed to doing things that fulfill us and what we want to do. So yeah, I think that, over the last couple years, it's definitely been a journey of self-discovery, transformation, but definitely a very needed one. I think that, I went from wanting to become a doctor to, now I am a 20-year-old living in Los Angeles, pursuing my own social media agency. And, that's something that I really want to do. And that's something that I'm really motivated and passionate about. And, it's something that I think that I actually can do. My agency is, it's really small right now. But, we are growing, and I do see huge growth for this business in the future, but I do know, that I'm still super young, and that I still have so many things that I need to learn and things that I need to navigate. And I still have so many things and so many failures and so many challenges that I need to go through. I've gone through so many challenges and struggles in the last 2 years that I really just wanted to create this platform and sort of document my life and show kind of what my days look like, share insights and tips of, how to start an agency, or how to just be a 20-year-old young female entrepreneur, and really just show other women that, we can do it, guys. Like we got this. And over the last couple years, I've dealt with, a lot of financial insecurity, a lot of toxic situations, toxic people, dealt with, just so many things that an average 20-year-old really should not be going through, but things that I want to share with the world so that other people can really avoid and not go through those things. And so over the last 2 years, I've also come a long way since then. I was able to get myself into a 4-year school. I was able to start my own agency, and that's really starting to take off. Everybody hits roadblocks and everybody hits challenges, and you literally just have to figure out like what kind of outcome you want in the end. Like, do you want to stay stagnant in your own life and like what you're doing, or do you want to change your perspective and like put in action towards whatever it is that you want to do to get the outcome in the end that you want? That is really what matters. Really, if I'm being completely honest, I am not in school this semester because, I don't have $30,000 to pay off my tuition from last semester. And I think that that's been a tough pill to swallow for me, but I've also realized that not everybody in this world has a world-class education, and also not everybody needs a world-class education. I do eventually want to go back to school, but I'm focused on my business right now. I'm focused on growing my business and really getting myself out there and just pushing myself and challenging myself. And I think that, over time, if school comes back in my life and if that's something that I can do, then that's something that I can do. But for now, I'm really focused on running and growing my agency. Okay, it's okay to not be perfect 100% of the time, and it's okay to go through hurdles in life. That is just, life is not like this. Life is like this. Life is literally never black and white, and I think that that's so true. Life is literally never black and white, and I think that people who view it like that have a harder time getting through life because they have a harder time navigating just challenges. I'm very proud of myself for how far I've come since graduating high school and the steps that I've taken to get to where I am, and how I've had to challenge myself and put myself in extremely uncomfortable positions, because I feel like if I didn't do those things, then I wouldn't have been able to experience the same opportunities that I'm able to experience today, and be surrounded by the people that I'm able to be surrounded with every single day. And I want to just create this channel so that people, other, young female entrepreneurs out there that think that, it's not possible in a world, full of doubts, but I promise that it is. And I promise it literally takes motivation, determination, and self-discovery to realize that. I am going to end the video here, but if you guys have any comments, or if you guys want to say anything below, just comment that down below. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that hopefully maybe that gave some clarity on your guys' lives, and we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye-bye.